you can't be whatever you want to be. That's a lie. You can only be. Now I said I had to clean it up because when I first said you can't be whatever you want to be, folks got mad. I'm telling you, I'm tired of folks telling kids they can be whatever they want to be because you can't be whatever you want to be. So now I cleaned it up. You can't be whatever you want to be. You can only be what God wants you to be. That's a little better, huh? Because if you can't read and write and you're in the sixth grade, you're not going to be the doctor. That's not happening. Yeah, and I don't care how much work you put in, you get a tutor or whatever the case may be. You're just not wired and designed for that. And we need to stop lying to our children. If we're going to tell them they can be what they want to be, then you need to put them in position to be what they want to be. It's because if they're not in a position to be what they want to be, they're never going to be what they want to be. And it's disappointment. You know, it's cute to hear a little kid say, I'm going to be a doctor, but then you find out this kid can't read. You know, so we're shooting our kids in the foot, per se, by even setting them up for that. When that kid can't read, you need to tell them, well, you're never going to be a doctor because you're not academically focused. You know, we're not telling them the middle part. We're just telling them the glory. And like I always say.
So what are you telling them to be? They're going to be a garbage man or something? Like, you're not going to be a doctor, but what you're going to shovel
I mean,
stuff?
what you want is a productive individual. And we can't measure, everybody's not going to be a doctor. Everybody's not going to be a lawyer. It's okay, like I say all the time, it's okay to be regular, you know? Be productive, be a good human citizen, you know? Play the hand that you're dealt, you know? We need to get away from this fantasy, you know? We're wasting a lot of time. Come on, help me with this, Mr. Pruitt.
Yeah, I agree with you. There are some menial jobs that are going to be needed all the way down the lifeline. You'll always need someone to do certain things. Grass won't quit growing. There'll be someone who will have to do that job. And I agree with you. Whatever you set out to do, you ought to do the very best that you can do at that. And you can change it from saying that you cut grass to that you're a yard manicurist. That would be all right. Yeah. That would be all right. But if you do the job well enough, you can make a decent living from it, and there'll be people following in your footsteps who can do the same.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And we gotta get away from telling people you have to be this high-profile person in order to be successful. And, you know, I preach this success thing all the time. Because success could be, like I always say, a man comes out of prison and he gets a job and he supports his family. That's success. But in our community, that's not success, you know? So it's a double-edged sword. And I don't want to get caught up in this too much because Bam, you know, always like me to ramble, and we call it King's Rant. So.
That was. Why would I jump in the rant? Man, he had it going.
But how, and we talked about this on our previous shows, it used to be a guy was successful if he worked for the city department, city sanitation. How do we lose that? How did we lose that success? You know, here we got a person claiming to be a CEO. I know it, you know it, and Fortune 500 know it. She ain't no CEO. But he said in her mind, you know, and in this entertainment business, especially on the unsigned level, everybody's something. Everybody's something. They name drop. They tell you all kind of stories. You know, people try to hustle Bama out on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we don't, like I always say, we don't know nothing, but we ain't foolish enough to fall into one of the little dummy traps, you know. You know, we hear it all. Well, let's put a concert together. Let's go on the road. Let's do all kind of things. No, you do it. If it can be done, do it yourself. You don't need us to do it, you know. So, George, you're crying over there. What you crying about? You just crying about our people?
Well, you know, I think the problem is not what we're telling our children. I think the problem is we're not telling them anything. And and you know, and then you turn around, you need to tell him the truth. If you tell him the kid he can be anything he want to be, then you ought to have some concept that he can be anything he want to do.
Well, you
He
know
ought
that's
to
not
have some.
happening.
Well, I mean, if see what I'm trying to say is, you don't have an advantage over me because your father's a little more intelligent than my father. That doesn't give you no advantage in life. What gives you an advantage in life is the cards you dealt. And if your father didn't play the cards he was dealt, that don't mean you don't have to play the cards that you were dealt. So there is it's a fine line here. So I'm saying that whatever you tell a child, you ought to just tell them the truth.
Yeah, but you know how.
I think it. See,
No,
I believe if I was to go and work with a brain surgeon, I can do brain surgery. Ain't no way I'm gonna go in there with him and watch him do brain surgery and then I learn how to do it. Ain't no way. It ain't gonna happen with George Whitlam. It
Oh, yeah?
ain't gonna happen.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
You put me in the room with that
It's
brain
not
surgery.
gonna happen.
That's a dead man. I'm gonna tell you right now.
It-
You put
it's
me in
not-
there,
it's not-
and that's a
it's
dead
not
man.
Gonna happen. The brain surgeon was trained.
He was trained.
He was trained. And see, but you're limited to what you can do. But you can do what you saw done. And
Not
that-
in all cases.
Well,
Not
it ain't
in all
nothing
cases.
old.
You can do just
See, ain't
that's
nothing
what-
old.
You can't do that brain surgery.
But see, ain't nothing old.
Uh-huh.
And then what now?
In other words,
So
a
you
kid-
watch the first
look
brain
here.
surgery. The
See-
next guy come in,
see,
you can do it yourself.
A child with a high IQ, really good grade, that doesn't make him a doctor. I don't care how much training he get. That's not what make him a doctor. What make him a doctor is, like you said, the cards they were dealt to him. But you don't know your cards, you start playing.
Yeah, but you know you can't read and write.
Yeah.
You don't.
Well, I mean, you can't read and write because you never applied yourself. See, that's a simple one to get by right there.
See,
It's just-
I
in
don't
other
even
words-
I don't even
in
buy
other
the
words, Brother
applying
Ted,
yourself theory.
Here's what I'm saying. They build prisons in America based on fourth grade scores. You're not going to convince me that we can't get all preschoolers up to the fourth grade level if we try.
They build prisons based on fourth grade.
Fourth grade scores. You not and see, if we got this thing, and it's old as mankind. We tie people in. In other words, I should be what my dad is. I mean, you know, because that's who I'm around. That's who I act like. That's who I talk like. I don't talk as well as I ought to talk, but I've met very few people smarter than me.
Why you look over at Bear when you say that?
Very few, man. Very few people smarter than me. In fact, I've met very few people that think. Do you know 80% of people don't even think? All they do is react to what's going on.
Fred
Those are
wants
learned
to
behavior.
chime in here. I see Fred looking at like he want to say something.
Well, I think we have to look back, you know, and if I may be pardoned from a personal reference, I have to be where I am today or to where I've learned. I have from early age just strongly kept a remedy that was taught me by my father. He wasn't a very large man, but he was a personality of indomitable will. He had invincible moral and spiritual strength. And I know that because Daddy is what we called him. And he was the ruler of our family clan. He was the father of 14 sons. And as I look at it now, he really traveled the troubled road. But he never flinched. He never complained. His lessons to us began at an early age. The lessons were simple, but they have proved to me to be invaluable. And one thing he taught us was that your color has nothing to do with your worth. He taught us that we were as good as anybody, but how good we may prove to be was left up to us.
So he's full of wisdom.
Right.
But see, what you're talking about,
So basically, he's saying that he could be that doctor.
no, that ain't what he's saying.
Yeah, it is.
No, he's
That's
not.
exactly
That's
what
not
I'm
what he's
saying.
saying.
And
No,
I
it
agree.
can't.
Huh?
And I agree.
Well, what I'm saying is that what he taught us was good enough to bring me to where I am today. We're talking about a man that worked 42 years and made a total of $66,000 but took care of his children, kept them in a house, kept them with something on their back, and
All
kept
the
them a little
time.
food on the table. That was his way of saying that that's his responsibility, and if we could teach our children today, especially our young men who have families, that's their responsibility.
Basically, the basics.
Yeah. And you know, I've had a chance to go many places around the world, and everywhere I've ever been, I can't improve upon what my father taught me. So when I
So,
get to the
so it sounds like you're talking about the foundation.
right, right,
If we're missing the foundation, if you have the foundation, you have a better chance of becoming something other than what you are.
right,
But if you miss the foundation, that's when that dreaming becomes more unrealistic.
and the little simple things that was told to you then magnify themselves. You know, he taught us, don't you go out here and pick a fight. And in the next breath, he said, don't you run from one if your principles are at stake. You know, so these are things that they keep coming up in your life, and they keep coming up in your life. And I guarantee you, if you face those things with the foundation that you have, you're going to be successful all the time.
Now, brother Chuck, let me say this, King. Take exactly what he said. We talked about his brother yesterday that he knew very, I barely knew him, but I know him through Pruitt. He came down here and he looked at what was going on in Pascal, the quality of men in there. And he could see way more than the Morehouse boys could see in there. Way more. You see. And I mean, they had the grades, and a lot of them went out there to be doctors and stuff, but they had nothing over what this boy dad had already trained them. And see, Tuck, I'm looking at you. You didn't fall off no truck. You took a beating at that white school. You understand what I'm saying? And it made you a better person, made you a better human being. Not only do you have knowledge, you've had experience and wisdom that came from your experience because your mother told you to go here to this good school.
Okay, you say so.
I know so. I mean, I talk to him, and I talk a whole lot of this stuff.